Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 1 p.m. Now, that's on the Central Time Zone. It's, by the way, AP and I have some funny things about Central and Eastern. Then we might talk about it sometime. But anyway, on the Central Time Zone, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon, you can find us syndicated on television. And that's found on Abundant Television, on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast on thenewscaster.com. And also all the social media sites. Like we said before, if you would like to see some of the past shows with AP Steadham, all you've got to do is go to the little search bar in Facebook and also on YouTube. And just type in Donna Fiesel, AP Steadham, and you'll find every one of them. You're going to see where AP was right on a lot of cases, where he made some predictions that turned out to be totally 100% correct. AP Steadham is with us. He is also has his own podcast and he's all over the place just like we are. AP, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Donna, thank you so much for having me. Yeah, and happy birthday this week for you.
Thank you. Yeah, 66 years old. I keep telling everybody I've just turned 67 at 66. I know it's 1 year, but anyway, it was a fun birthday. Had a good time.
Oh, great. Yeah, you should celebrate them all, as my daddy would say.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So what's going on in sports right now?
Yeah, Donna, LSU, the baseball team, they won the College World Series. That was the second time within the last 3 years. And I guess the SEC, Donna, the last 6 years have won the College World Series, and that's the most of any conference consecutively. So they've had a good run with a number of teams, not only LSU, but several others. So that's nice that you have a balance in your league where it's not top heavy, but you have a handful of teams that are capable of competing not only to reach the College World Series and the different regionals, but make it to Omaha where they have the finals and then win the championship. So LSU, once again, is the College World Series national champion.
That is awesome. Lots of good stuff happening. Absolutely. Yeah. Even though there are changes, good things are happening.
Yeah, for sure. One thing, Don, I wanted to bring up this week, we're going to be traveling back on the road again, and we'll be going to the Manning Passing Academy. Now, that is the Manning family. If people don't know, that's the Archie Manning was the Ole Miss quarterback many years ago, and he had his sons, Peyton and Eli, and Cooper was a wide receiver at Ole Miss before he had to retire from the game because of a neck injury condition. So, but he has his son, Arch Manning, at the University of Texas now. He'll be the starting quarterback for the Longhorns, but they have a passing academy. I think this is the 25th edition down in Thibodaux, Louisiana at Nicholls State. So I'll be there on Friday for these interviews, and people can check those interviews on my YouTube channel, AP As We See It. And Donna, there's 11 SEC quarterbacks out of the, let's say, 40-plus camp counselors that will be present. So we have access to them for about an hour. So we try to run around and get as many interviews as we can. And they have all the camp counselors from everywhere, top teams across the country, Penn State and Syracuse and Iowa State and Louisville and Clemson and Arizona State and Kansas and Georgia Tech. So we get a chance, if we have enough time, to speak with some of them because they're competing against the SEC teams, Donna, as well. So that's why we try to interview the quarterback. Even though they're not in the SEC, they're going to be playing against an SEC team. But like I said, there's 11 SEC quarterbacks. We can go over the list if you want to. I can read them off if you want. But that's 11 out of 16 schools represented from the SEC at that Manning Passing Academy.
That speaks volumes, right? So who are those?
Yeah, we have a Lenora Sellers from South Carolina. We have Garrett Nussmeier from LSU. We have Blake Shapen from Mississippi State. We have Austin Simmons from Ole Miss. We have John Mateer from Oklahoma. He's a transfer from Washington State. We have Kalon Green from Arkansas. He transferred from Boise a couple years ago. We have Arch Manning from Texas, of course. We have Ty Simpson, Alabama. Gunnar Stockton, Georgia. Marcel Reed, Texas A&M. And we have Prabula from Missouri. And his first name, I think it's, I have it right here, Brian, maybe. Prabula. He transferred from Penn State to Missouri. So there's a couple of transfers in there, people who haven't even yet played for the SEC school, but they're representing their school as a camp counselor at the Manning Passing Academy. I think his name is Blaine Prabula, I think it is, yeah. But then we have some quarterbacks from other places, like I say, that'll be playing SEC teams.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to mention too the Manning family. You know, it's kind of unusual because usually when there's a dad that does all this great stuff in football or anything else, even in the business world, sometimes the kids fell short. But the kids are just, I mean, they're all equally successful.
Yeah, they're very competent quarterback. Played in the Pro Bowl, won Super Bowls. They didn't win like Archie Manning. He never won the SEC championship himself, but and Peyton didn't win it at Tennessee, and Eli didn't win it at Ole Miss as well. They were successful, high draft choices. Won Super Bowl. Archie Manning never won a Super Bowl. He played on the Saints way back, but yeah, they've had a lot of success on the football field. So now they're looking at their Archie Manning's looking at his grandson Arch Manning at the University of Texas. So Arch Manning, his father is Cooper Manning. Cooper was a wide receiver, as I said, at Ole Miss for a time before he had to retire from the sport and never got a chance to play for the Rebels.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a family where they don't know what the word jealousy is. And I think they're there just to help each other. That has to be the success.
Yeah, they all show up to this camp, and they're there every day. And they have, I think, in the neighborhood of 1,000+ campers from around the country down, and they come from everywhere, all over the country, and maybe some come from Canada too, for all I know. But it's in Thibodaux. It's hot down there at Nicholls State, but it's there usually the last weekend of June, last week of June, and so it's a fun event for media. We have about an hour or less to interview all these quarterbacks down. And the main thing is I've got to walk by probably 15 quarterbacks. I'd like to interview them, but we don't have the time. We're only given that slot, that one day. And there's a competition at nighttime amongst the camp counselors, a passing competition. Mm-hmm. So that's fun to watch as well. The public, that's open to the public, and they play, and that's held at the Nicholls State football stadium. And watch that. Yeah.
Well, the hottest day I think is supposed to be tomorrow, so I think it'll be hot, but not like now. This is such an incredible heat wave.
Oh my goodness, yeah, it's been certainly hot, but you know they'll get used to it. They'll be arriving. They start up here earlier in the week, and then by Friday they've been there a number of days. So we see all the young campers, and we see all the camp counselors, but I always enjoy that event.
How many of those have you attended?
Hey, Don, I was thinking about that one day. I don't know, it's getting near double digits now, maybe, I'm not sure, but it's been quite a few. And Donna, the beauty of having that access is that's probably some of the best access you'll have, because, for instance, last year I was able to interview Will Howard, who was a transfer quarterback from Kansas State, ended up being the national championship quarterback at Ohio State. He had not even played at Ohio State yet when I interviewed him. So that was a fun interview. People can look back. I think it's still on one of my YouTube channels. But you had a chance to visit with him for 5 to 10 minutes, record that interview, and get some of his thoughts on playing for a new team and what were his individual goals and team goals, and just the things that he learned about throughout his journey and what he learned by being at the Manning Passing Academy.
And that's the point. And you've got to watch kids, and I call them kids, anybody younger than me, but anyway, you get to watch them grow and be successful, and you get to see them as they learn new ways and tactics to get the job done as well.
Yeah. last year, I remember interviewing Will Howard. I think I spoke to Riley Leonard, who ended up transferring from Duke to play at Notre Dame. We spoke to as many SEC quarterbacks as we could. I think we got to all of them last year. Stuff. A couple that didn't show up. There was a little rain issue, so they weren't able to make it to the facility. But we had a good time, and I like, for my audience to look at those interviews because, like I said, it's more than just a question or two. We really sit down with them for a few moments at that Manning Passing Academy to just get an idea of their personality. They can see their reaction and their responses, and so it's a tremendous opportunity for media members to visit an SEC quarterback and some of the competing quarterbacks, as I said, from around the country, from everywhere, every direction of this country. They're in Thibodaux, Louisiana for a week.
Mm-hmm. Is there anyone that has surprised you? Maybe someone you thought was probably going to be good, but then they just really blew it out of the water. Is there anybody you can think of like that?
Yeah, I have to think back on that, Donna. I know that, for instance, when you're always looking at these awards, these national awards, I mean, when we start the season, there's projection and prediction. And a lot of times, Donna, it's somebody that was not even in the top 5 or 6 of an award, and at the end, they win the major award. I mean, somebody like a Jaden Daniels of LSU, he ended up being a very successful quarterback after transferring from Arizona State. Played for LSU for 2 years. I remember the first time I saw him play, it was against Florida State in the Superdome in New Orleans, the very first game of the year. It was the first game for Brian Kelly, by the way, the coach at LSU. And it seemed like he was just running around like he was in the backyard. He was not familiar with his talent, and they had not yet developed that chemistry and timing. Well, the next year he was unstoppable. I mean, and then I saw him the next year play again I saw him 2 years in a row, and they lost both times at Florida State, but he ended up, having a tremendous season. And, you like to watch that development of players, and especially quarterbacks. It's such a complex position. Mm-hmm. It's so much involved, and because mentally you have to be sharp. You're looking for all these options across the field while you have these 300-pound linemen trying to tackle you. Mm-hmm. It's an extremely unique position, playing quarterback. I think it's, of all the positions in sports, I think it's the most difficult. Because you're relying and dependent on 10 other people, and you're having the 11 people trying to disrupt you. Mm-hmm. And so the timing and the complexity of the defenses that challenge you, and then you're trying to incorporate all the nuances of your own offenses and learn your teammates and their speed and their idiosyncrasies as receivers and the coaching staff. They're under pressure, and they're sending in the commands to run certain plays. And things are moving 1,000,000 miles an hour, and you have 100,000 people that may be yelling against you. Oh, by the way,
playing into it as well.
Oh, by the way, yeah, all these things I mentioned, and by the way, the 100,000 people are cheering against
you. Absolutely, and those things can, and it's like everything else. Let's just say a guy takes welding in tech school or something, and then he's taking welding and he's told textbook what's going to happen, whatever. But when he really gets out there in the real world of it, and he starts learning new techniques he probably didn't even learn in school. It's probably the same way, exactly.
Right. Yeah, you take a sport like golf, Donna, where you don't know if somebody's for you or against you. It's very quiet. You're able to concentrate. In football, these are loud, boisterous fans, and could be 100,000 of them, and they're hoping that you fall down, you trip, you make a mistake, you throw an interception, you fumble the ball, and so they're hoping that their team tackles you, and so I just can't think of another sport. I mean, baseball, you have 100 miles coming at you. It's one-on-one. You're the batter, they're the pitcher, and there's thousands of people cheering against you as well. But you can concentrate on this one ball that's coming at you. Whereas in football, all these moving parts, Don, they're coming from every direction. every direction. And you have to maintain your pause and composure, set your feet, and accurately throw the football and be on time. So, like I said, it's the most difficult position in sports. And they have Donna, there's a camp for quarterbacks just for that position, Manning Passing Academy, and others around the country, of course. But they have a special camp just for that one position.
Wow, I can see it absolutely. So I'll be looking for some videos, and I'll have them on the show next time. Let's go into a commercial break, and we'll return in just a few minutes. Everybody, hang in there.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Because of your overwhelming support, our 1488 MyPillow has been one of the biggest sales in MyPillow history. I couldn't think of a better way to say thank you than to extend our wholesale pricing through Christmas. Get a classic standard MyPillow for only $14.88. Upgrade to a queen size, just $18.88. King size, only $1 more. Get my body pillows for only $29.88. And ready? Multi-use MyPillows, only $9.88. It's perfect time to stock up for Christmas gifts for everyone on your list. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our wholesale pricing, including my classic standard MyPillows, only $14.88. But that's not all. I'm so confident you're going to love our classic MyPillows that I'm going to extend my 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, orders over $75 ship absolutely free.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Okay, we're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 1 p.m. Central Time. This is a little running gag with AP and me, and I'm too embarrassed to tell you why. But anyway, Central Time, as we all get to ride home with you in the afternoon. AP Steadham has his own talk show, and he is syndicated as well. And how can folks find some of your past shows?
Yeah, Donna, we're on Spotify. Every episode's archived, but we're also archived on our YouTube channel, AP As We See It. And we have all the interviews from the events and games and different halls of fame, inductions, and things we've covered. You can look at AP As We See It and also at AP Steadham. Those are the YouTube channels that I have. You can reference and watch all those things unfold and interviews I've done in the past. So we have a lot of fun. And plus, we're on stations all over the state of Alabama, and we're heard in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Tennessee. So we welcome any questions you have, just like you do, Donna. We welcome any questions people might have. We're always glad to answer them, or if there's something we need to find out about a certain subject matter, or maybe they want a guest on a show or something. I don't know. We try to have a broad-based talent on our show, because we cover the entire SEC, football primarily, of course, as everyone knows. That's our show is based on the football and some basketball, but mainly football. So we try to just find out people who can tell us about their teams across the SEC and provide that information to our audience.
Randy wanted to know if you could talk a little bit about basketball. Do you see anything up in the future for the next season?
Yeah, basketball, Donna, with this transfer portal, it's very difficult to project because you might have an entirely new roster. I mean, literally 8, 9, 10 players. In basketball, men's basketball, Donna, you're allowed at this time. It's changing, of course. I think it's going to be 15, but it used to be 13 scholarship players. In women's basketball, it's 15, but those numbers are changing. I think the men. I think it's moving to 15 with these new rules, that house settlement business. But so basketball in the SEC, I mean, they had all those teams that reached the NCAA tournament. I think it was 11. Was it 11 teams last year? Or was it 14? Something. It was a huge number. I can't remember, but it was a record-setting number, way more than any conference in the past. And then, they were able to get to the Final Four, and we were always saying that there needed to be a certain amount of teams that reached, let's say, the Final 8 and then the Final 4. So the SEC was I think it was the most successful year in men's basketball. And women's basketball was always very good, with being competitive, having some of the top-ranked teams and players and coaches. So SEC basketball, they can continue on this path. I think all their fans will be happy because, Donna, in the wintertime, you don't have the football game that ends in January, all the bowl games and the playoff games and all-star games. So basketball, it's a great sport. It's fun. It's exciting. And every night, your team could beat the highest-ranked team if you play well that night, shoot the ball well that night. So men's basketball, women's basketball, it's exciting. And I'm glad the SEC has progressed through the years where they're competitive on a national level, and they're making they're earning berths to the tournament. because basketball is a tournament sport now. But you can win 30 games in a year, but what you do in that tournament matters. So it's a tournament sport, and the SEC has had outstanding success the last year, particularly. I think the best ever for them.
Anything new happening in football?
There'll be some.
Exercise.
Yeah, there'll be some rule changes, Donna, probably coming across. We'll probably discuss them as we approach this season. But we know that the SEC, Donna, they're playing the same conference schedule this year. But they did make the change in the playoff where it's straight seeding now. In other words, if you're ranked 11th, you're not going to be jumping up to number 3, even though you maybe won your conference. Whatever the committee deems to be your ranking in those sessions leading up to that Sunday in December where they make the announcement of the 12 teams, you're not going to have a team that was ranked 11th but won the conference, and then they're going to jump to the top 4 because they had the 4 conferences at the top. So it's just slightly different in the rankings and the seedings. It's pure. The seedings are pure now, where if you're ranked 9th, that's where you'll be in the playoff. They're not going to move you up to the top 4 because you won the conference. So that's a slight change. And I think people, and Don, I can't understand it. How do you have a system and after the first year that's a drastic change?
Yeah.
How did you not foresee that scenario where you're going to give 4 automatic qualifiers and teams would be maybe ranked outside the 12? Maybe the team's ranked 14th, but we had to put them in the playoffs because they won that conference. They were one of the 4 top conferences. We had to move them from 14th to 4th, let's say. And so I believe that I don't quite accept that nobody thought of that scenario, but it passed through. But now they made the change after 1 year. And then moving forward now, we know that they're trying to come up with the formula, the format, Donna, for the playoffs. Is it going to be 5 automatic berths for the conference champions and 11 at large? Is it going to be 4, 4, 2, 2, 3, 1? Is the SEC going to play 9 games? Everybody wants them to play 9 games instead of 8 conference games. A lot of the conferences play 9 games. And so there's still some tough negotiation that's happening. But Don, I think upcoming here, late August, September, they've got to make some kind of decision if we're going to keep with the 8 games in the SEC or 9 games, because you have to let people know for the following season. So
that's another thing too, because there's so many. I mean, there's so many spokes to this wheel, and so many things have to be done in a deadline. How in the world can it possibly? They're going to have to create new job roles for people. I think we have to add.
Yeah, they have that college sports commission now. They hired an executive for Major League Baseball, and they hired Deloitte to be the arbitrator and the decision maker for the deals, NIL deals over $600. So if there is an issue between the school and the student athlete, there is an arbitration process. And we know that judges, Donna, if you sue and you're in court, probably 90-something% plus of the time, plus they don't like to interfere with any arbitration decision. Mm-hmm. So I think that favors the process that they've designed, because we know that there's going to be lawsuits in these NIL decisions. People are not happy because the fair market value deemed by Deloitte, which is the company hired by this college commission, NCAA, to make these decisions about NIL deals. We know that somebody's going to disagree, but there's arbitration within the process, so hopefully it's minimized.
Well, it's going to be a lot of brand new news coming out about this stuff. I mean, it's going to be a whole new world. Absolutely. Yeah, and we call it a day. How can folks find your show?
Yeah, at APS, we see it on my YouTube channel and on Spotify. And check your local listings throughout the state of Alabama, where we're heard in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, and Tennessee. Check our social media platforms. We always put our links on there, Don.
Absolutely. And thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, AP, for being on the show with me again today. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. Take care. I'll see you later.